Hello, my name is Murari. I'm a historian by training. I'm faculty in the history program of the School of Arts and Sciences. In the monsoon semester, I'm going to offer the course HST 201, Trade and Religion in the Indian Ocean World. It is a global history course for history major, and it is open for the students from other disciplines who can opt for it as an elective. So what this course is all about? As I said, it is a global history course focusing on trade and religion in the Indian Ocean world. It has globalization as a component that gets adequately focused. The Indian Ocean has been one of the oldest world regions that facilitated trade and cultural interactions. The exchange of goods, ideas, technologies, microbes, and plants was often mediated by merchants, mercenaries, and monks straddling across the Indian Ocean regions. In the early modern period, the diversity of peoples from Southeast Asia, South Asia, the Islamic heartlands, East Africa, Europe, and elsewhere made the Indian Ocean an emerging global arena that brought multiple cultures and religions to closely interact. This led to the processes of identity formation, dissemination, and adaptation of cultural practices, and contestations and compromises in forging an open cosmopolitan society along its coasts. Understanding this stratum of our historical past will enable us to better understand contemporary globalization, and that's the broadly focus of this course. So as I said, global history perspective is applied to study different regions of the Indian Ocean, and it asks few questions that you might find interesting. For example, in what ways the seas have impacted our society? Because what happens so far, typical history understanding is that history happens only or mostly on land. But here, in this course, we'll decenter our understanding of historical processes away from land-based history to a history that kind of flows through the interactions between the land and the sea. It also focuses on identity formation, as mentioned in the beginning, through the trade and religious exchanges and contacts, and you'll also learn a little bit about what does it mean when people say Vasco da Gama epoch of Indian history, right? Once Vasco da Gama arrived on the western coast of India, late 15th century, right? So is it right nomenclature to identify an epoch by somebody who traveled from Europe and reached the western coast of India? So these are broadly the course objectives that you can go through. I think it will add to your knowledge in terms of understanding Asian Europeans interactions, and you should be able to describe the fluidity of social and cultural processes, and also how early modern trade kind of transformed the global geopolitics by the end of the early modern period. Assessment criteria, again, continuous assessment will test you in series of 3 or 4 in-class tests. There will be classroom reading groups and you have to write a substantial chunk of assignment called end semester assignment, and we'll do one field trip. Okay, so these are the secondary sources which you have to read, and I think the one by Sanjeev Sanyal is kind of novel, but we'll compare it with more scientific historical works, and students will have to use this tool to go to the primary sources at a stage when they are working on their assignment. So I think this is a fun course. This is a course that will give you an understanding of the broad region of the Indian Ocean, and I'm sure you'll have lots of fun.